Since a juvenile, up in Spofford we was running wild. No non-secure, 18 months and then you touch it down. No phone calls to the world, shit'll break you down. Found out your brother in the morgue and they spinning now. And your grandma soon be gone, ain't no fixing that. And that phone gon' remind you got a minute left. I know they see a nigga stressed. Other young nigga blessed. I paint this picture from a dark place.
Environment can be defined as a sum total of all living and non-living elements and their effects which influence human life. It is far more damaging being brought up in a hostile environment. Sunday Times, published 2011. Hi, it's Ayishah Shelby-Moore, your host of Prison Diaries, and today we're sitting here with Yaya, who's going to discuss her story. So Yaya, where are you from?
I'm from Brooklyn, Brownsville.
Oh, you look so pretty.
Thank you.
Brooklyn, Brownsville. I'm from Brownsville too. How old are you?
I'm 27.
You 27? Wow, you're so young. How was your time growing up in Brownsville as a black woman?
Ooh, Brownsville was rough. I mean, we was on some, being a pretty girl, then being Spanish. It was like more of a, had to fight for your respect. And it wasn't always what it seemed like as far as now. Like before it was more calm, but now I'm just like about the pockets. I'm just like, I don't know.
How was your childhood growing up?
My childhood was good, but not so good. Like, I was fed with a golden spoon, but behind my golden spoon was like dark secrets, Like, I wasn't always with my mother. I started with my mother when I was had to be 5 years old. I'm with my grandparents, me and my older brother. When I was 7 years old, I returned back home to my mom. And, she was in a relationship with her boyfriend, this random boyfriend she had of hers. And once I moved to the Bronx with her, it was like I was being molested, orally molested. Like, it wasn't, rape, but it was, molestation to a point where I didn't know what oral sex was. And I didn't speak about that till I was 14 years old. Like, it was going on for 7 years of my life because I was starting to understand what was going on. It was more of a, I had to get to freshman year of high school to know about sex, where we went to human biology and they was like, oh, this is, your vaginal and this is oral and this is sex and this is your anal. And they was, I had to learn what was happening to me. And as I sat in class, I would boil down crying. Like my tears would come down. And like, what's wrong? I didn't open my mouth. So I spoke to a guidance counselor. I went to Martin Luther King High School in Harlem, and it was more of a, I didn't understand what was going on. So as I sat in my guidance counselor office, it was more of a, whatever the teacher was saying, I was replaying what was being done to me. So when I finally spoke up, my mom was oblivious, naive, like she was head over heels for this man and she didn't believe me. So it was to a point when she sent me away to DR with my father. I went to live with my father for a while. I guess in the midst of me being gone, he left my mother behind. Like, I guess the whole purpose of him being with her because I was home. So like once he found out that I moved away, it was like the cops came to the house. My mother hid him in the room. My father tried to kill both of them. It was hard. Like my childhood, it started off good, but once my parents got divorced, it was just like a dark cloud came over me. Like I was always so used to seeing mommy and daddy together, so seeing a new man was kind of different. Like I didn't speak much. I was isolated. I was more confined to myself. Like I didn't want to speak, and the only why I spoke up was because at the age that I got of, I was just like, if I don't speak, I got two younger sisters as well too. So it was like if I didn't speak, they could have been next. Mm-hmm. So when I opened up, my mother didn't believe me. When I left, like I said once again, he wrote my mother a note. It was like he didn't want to be with her, and he always told her that he was going to do something to her that was going to hurt her most, but she never understood what it was. So my fault, like, you fucking idiot, like, like, read between the lines, like, he hurt your daughter, and, like, we was still, she's going out, he leave you, it don't make no sense, like, it don't add up to, like, I don't understand. So when she found out, she tried to apologize, and me being nonchalant, I didn't give a fuck about her apology. I was on something like, man, it fucked my head up.
Because it already happened.
Yeah, and I don't...
How old were you when she apologized?
Well, I came back from jail when I was 15 years old. So I left at 14, came back at 15, and I didn't want to come home. I was like, oh, Dad, I want to go out and stay to school. He was like, your mother wants you back. You know, like she got full custody. I can't really argue with her right now. Like, to let Daddy get his shit together, and then, you know, I'm like, all right, no problem. I said, if he there, I'm going to kill him. So he was like, listen, if it happens again, do what you got to do, and I'm always going to back you up. So when I came home, she tried to apologize to me. And she disgusted me. I didn't want to touch me. And it's so fucked up to say that to this day, I still have a grudge against her. Like, I still hate her. Like, we never been right ever since. Like, I feel like as a mother, whether I was lying or not, I feel like as a mother, you're supposed to be like, you know what? Fuck it. You said she said this, she said that, that's what it is. And it was more of, I was hurt. I felt like I felt alone. So it was like, I felt alone. Thank you. I felt alone. So I was just like, you know, like, I didn't want to be nowhere near the family. And it got to a point where, you know, they say when you be molested, two things happen to you. Either you scared to open up or you run wild. Mm-hmm. And living in Brownsville, I started living a fast life. I started dealing with older men. When I turned 16, I started living with older men who had money. And money was everything to me. Like, it made me happy. It made me feel safe because I could have money and go buy a hotel room under a fake ID and feel secure, like nobody know where I'm at. So it was just like dealing with older men was more of a. It was more of a I don't know. It was like I felt free, but not also that I feel free. I felt like I lost respect for my body because what was taken from me, I didn't give it up willingly. It was taken from me. So if I felt like no men have respect for no female. So once I lost respect for myself, I lost respect for men. I started treating men like how men would treat a female. And I didn't learn. I had to slow down when I started seeing a lot of females in my area get STDs and diseases and stuff. And I was like, whoa, like I have to slow my life down. Whether I was in protection or not, I had to slow down because I started dealing with an older man who I was 16 years old and he wanted me to put my feet in a 32-year-old. And it just couldn't happen. Like, I was in a domestic relationship, young, going to school, abused. He had paid security guards in the school to watch me. I got transferred from Martha King to Thomas Jefferson, even worse, because he was in a better block. He bought a house across the street from the school. And he was like, you know what, I'm picking from school every day. And I was just like, whoa, like, you're not my father. Like, it was tough growing up. So the streets taught me how to be a woman. It taught me that if I was to ever have kids in the future, which I do now, that I always have to take my kids with no matter what. Whether they lying or not, I would have to sit there and be like, that's what happened? Okay, this is what it is. And if you lying, you know, get a little consequences, whatever the case may be, but I feel like...
That taught you to trust your kids first, ask questions later.
Right. To me, like, fuck the questions, like, that's what it is, because I know, you know, nowadays kids growing up nowadays is they're more advanced. They the technology, you know, YouTube, TikTok, they teach them all other things. Mm-hmm. So it's like the minute, and I have a daughter, I have a 6-year-old. So it's like, the minute she say, Mommy, who touched you? You know, like, I never played that. Like, even when she was one of her fathers, I called her 5 minutes. Play mother, wash her up. And it's not because I didn't think he was going to do anything to her, but it was because of what happened to me. So mm-hmm. I didn't put it past nobody.
Right.
So it was kind of hard growing up. Like, I was into the streets. Like, everything was, like, I'm out. Arguing with my mother, talk back. One thing I never did was put my hands on her. As much as I did, because I had so much hate for her, it was just like, I was the black sheep in the house. And it was like, once I separated my ways, my siblings started coming looking for me. Like, they would come to me for help. And because I was in these streets, I was like, you know what, I'm going to show you the way. Like, you know, go to school, I'll give you whatever you want. I was dealing with men who had money. I was dealing with a whole bunch of drug dealers. So, excuse me, I had a maid growing, like, I had a maid because I made it for myself. And I didn't make it the right way. So I don't want a female to ever think that. I mean, 1,000 ways to get money. You know what I'm saying? Your hustle is your hustle. But I just knew, like, it wasn't for me no more when I was just like, I'm tired. Like, I'm tired looking for love because I didn't have it. When I was looking when I wanted it from the person I wanted it, I wasn't getting it. So I found the way to go to the streets and look for love. And the streets don't love nobody. So it was either I run the streets or the streets run me. And it was kind of both of me. Like, I had my days where I didn't want to go outside, but people like, oh, come on, we're going out. I'll just go outside. Like, that's why I say, like, I let the streets run me. Because if I don't want to go out, I want to stay. But it was like, you know what, fuck it, I ain't gonna do it. I'm just go outside. It was like more of a, fuck it, like I'm forced to go outside. I mean, not by nobody, but it's like, I ain't gonna do it, might as well go out. And then when I ran the streets, I was just running the streets. Like, I just knew my four corners. And it was different. It was really hard growing up until I had my daughter, and that's when life changed.
How old you when you had her?
I had my daughter when I was 20 years old. I got pregnant at 20, had her at 20. She was premature. She was supposed to be due March, and I had her in December.
Wow.
She was 2 pounds, 5 ounces. So when I had her, I still didn't know how to be a mother. I was so used to running the streets that it was like one day I found out I was pregnant. I said, who pregnant? I ain't having no baby. And you know, my mother was like, she's already full blown, you know, like you might as well, because I found out late. And by the time I found out I was pregnant, I already know I was having a girl and everything.
Wow.
So I was just like, oh, you know, I was like, look, listen, I'm not telling you to do with your body, but she's already developed. Don't, you know, you kill that. Now you really killing a human. I'm like, all right, whatever. 3-4 weeks later, I give birth. That's how fast it happened. I was just like, oh shit, I'm in labor. What the fuck going on? Like, I had her. She was premature, 2 pounds and 5 ounces. Baby was so little, and I was scared that she wasn't gonna make it because she was just so little. But she made it. She's here in a pain in my butt. But it was like I didn't know how to be a mother. I was so busy wanting to run the streets. Like my friends was calling, I had to, but then I couldn't run the streets because I had to look back and like, oh shit, I really gotta kill myself. Like I can't be like my friends who would drop their kid off to anybody and run the streets. I'm gonna say I don't mind you going out, but you're not just gonna run the streets because your friends run the streets and they don't care about your kids. Like you gonna care about yours. You might feel how you feel about me, but I'm gonna tell you what I should have been told you. I'm looking at her like, bitch, your girl, one ear out the other, like, girl, please. And I still didn't want to leave my baby because the minute I go to the store, I'm missing my baby. I was like, you know what? It's my firstborn. I'm staying home. I don't want to go outside no more. And it was, I mean, I loved it. Once I got the hang of being a mother, I fell in love with it. Like, we used to dress up alike. You know, it was like mother and daughter thing. So it was like my little mini me. I have fun. And then comes imprisonment.
Right, that's what I was going to get to. So what led to the imprisonment?
Okay,
If you can talk about it?
No, of course. I already did my time, bro. It's over. My daughter was 14 months. And I was pregnant with my son already. My daughter went with her father. Me and the father get into a crazy argument over the text. Oh, come get the daughter, da-da-da-da-da. My baby father's one of them kids who, if I be like, oh, but I'm doing something, he'll go on social media like, oh, bitch, rather run the streets and come get her kid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, he's one of them
petty.
Right, so I was like, you know what, before I even lose my mind, let me just go get my daughter. As I go, making my way, we arguing. He knew I was pregnant, but he wasn't too sure that I was pregnant. So when I get there, long story short, my daughter's never in the house. But I heard later on, after my bed was that he found out I was pregnant. He went to make sure it was true or whatever. I come out the car. No baby in the house. It was because I was pregnant. He just wanted to start fighting. I wasn't fighting. I'm pregnant, boy. I'm already high risk. I ain't gonna stop and fight you. We already had too many domestic relationships, disputes, you know what I'm saying? So I said, right now, I know I'm gonna have to shoot you. And as he was doing, I reached in the car and I shot. I shot at him. He didn't get hit. He tried to lie and say he got hit, but there was no medical statement. He tried to say my daughter was he tried to say that my daughter was in his arms when I shot at him. He tried to really, and then I know once I got a handcuff, he said to me, if I can't have anybody can happen. And I just looked at him, I said, you should have just got killed. I should have just killed you. I'd rather do 25 to life and be all right. As I was fighting when I was in Nassau County, Long Island, the worst. I was in there with a whole bunch of
people. They make up their own laws out there.
Yeah, they got their own laws. They charged me with attempted murder in the first degree, criminal use of a firearm, first, second, and third, criminal possession of a weapon, first, second, and third. I had like 11 counts. So I went to court. My first offer was 25 to life. Yup, 25 to life.
With no priors.
No, with no priors. They didn't care about that. It was more of a, like, I'm a city girl coming to a suburb and I'm just committing crimes. You know what I'm saying? They was like, oh, well, you want to come to my town to commit crime, we're going to slay you. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, on front, I was kind of nervous. I said, 25 to life. I said, damn, is he even dead? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I had a legal way at the time. They assigned me to a legal way. He was like, look, listen, I can get you 15. Just cop out to known and unknown charges. I said, I'm going to cop out to unknown charges. I don't know what the unknown is. They was like, look, listen, he already got reports against you. He got protection against you from before. Like, you look like the aggressor. I said, oh, because he called the cops first, so I left the aggressive. Okay, whatever. Fired my legal way. I sat in county. I get a grand jury paper. I was going to grand jury. I go to grand jury July 14th. I go to grand jury. He comes in to testify against me. Took the stand, testified.
The child of the mother of his daughter, he testified against.
He testified against me.
Did he know the effects of testifying, like what that can do? Was he subpoenaed or he willingly came?
No, he willingly came. To
take a mother away from their daughter.
His mother had told him, the mother was telling him, they don't let him on that. His mother had told him, he told his mother he was going to drop the charges. He pressed charges. He said he was going to drop the charges. The state don't pick it up within, it take 30 to 90 days for the state to pick it up if you don't want to proceed. I got arrested June 27th. July 14th, I was really going to grand jury. He didn't want to drop the charge. He was pursuing, like he was really going with it. He was following along through with it. So
you watched him testify? Like you had to sit there?
I was on my way up. The officer was like, the judge don't want her in there. So I'm like, how can I not go to my own grand jury? He said, look, listen, I don't know. The judge is great not for you to come. I said, well, I could have stayed in the fucking bed. I'm coming here for what? So I say August 11th, I get my grand jury minutes. They secret indicted me. They found me guilty, and his story sounds so perfect because he was trying on the stand. So I asked my lawyer, I got 18 people. I said, where's my grand jury minutes? Like, I want to see all my discovery of motion. He was like, how you know about that? I stayed in Law Library heavy. I was just like, man, listen, if I want to do time, let me at least go for a fight with it. I'm not just going to be like, I'm going to surrender. That's what they want me to do. I'm not going to do that. So as I waited, it was a waiting game. I say a waiting game. Sometimes we'd be locked down in county jail for 3-4 days, no showers, eating cold cuts, mattress on the floor, gotta watch TV. That's what kind of was rough. Common say it was $50 every week, no food, no protein, everything was just junk food.
How long you was in Nassau?
I was in Nassau County. I went in June of 2016. I left September 2017. I was over 13 months I was in there, way more, like 14, 15 months I was in there. And I hated it. It was just like, then I was pregnant at that. So it was like I was pregnant with my son.
Yeah, how was that being pregnant in a county jail, not even a prison? So you don't even have access to as much stuff,
right.
You know? Because if y'all don't know, county is like a holding. It's like a bookings of that city. Yeah, it's like central bookings, but of that county. It's not a prison.
It was trauma, like.
Pregnant?
Yes, it was more like
they didn't like once they gave you the urine and saw you was pregnant. They didn't.
No, I was already pregnant already. I had a stomach. I was showing full blown pregnant.
And they left you in population.
They had me in 72 hours, it's like intake. Yeah, I was there for 72 hours, 3 days. It was just traumatizing. Hearing the door slide, slam, boom. It was like it was gated doors. It go, boom. It was like wake up 5 o'clock in the morning. They do count. I wasn't used to that. I said, what the fuck is a count? They was like, when we count you. I said, oh, hell, I ain't used to this. Mom, let me go back to sleep because I ain't got time. After 72 hours, they put me in general population. I went to a high profile felon dorm, which was F block. I would never forget that block. It was just like, it was 25 women to a dorm. To a dorm, a tier, matter of fact. And everybody just caught a liking to me. They was like, look at the little baby, she's pregnant. Like, everybody, you know how sometimes they say, Joe, they got some rough ones in it. And no, like, even down to the crackheads. They was like, you want something? Like, you need anything? Like, you need clothes? Like, you need... I'm like, no, I'm fine on everything. They like, you have to eat. I would not eat. I would starve myself. The only thing I would eat is my prenatal pills. I would not eat for nothing. I couldn't stomach the food. The smell of it smelled like hospital food. And it was just like dog food. It was just, the food they served was just like, what the fuck is this? They had some fake ass curry chicken, curry stewed chicken. They call it slop. What the fuck is that? When I see that, I smell the curry. I said, oh hell no, I ain't eating that. I am not eating that. And then there was like officers, like they're like, you have to eat. I don't eat that. I'm not eating that. So a few officers were like, you know what? I'm ordering some food. Like a lot of them was ordering me food. It was this one officer. That was my guy right there. He was Jamaican, bugged out. He's like, hey, fat ass, want some cheesecake? I said, you know my parents cheesecake. He'll bring me cheesecake, you know. It was dope. I ain't gonna feel like once I got a little more comfortable, I adjusted to it a little bit. It was like, all right, maybe I could, just for right now, okay? This is not home, it's temporary, like, you know. I started going to church in there. This older lady came to us and she was like, just pray. Like, just pray. You'll be all right. Don't feel like you won't have no problems. I said, listen, the way National County work, you already see how you all sitting here. I don't put past nobody. I ain't white with blue eyes and blonde hair. I done see so many drug addicts revolving doors. You hear me? In and out, in and out, in and out. Drug programs, in and out, coming back, coming back. And I'm like, yo, they get more breaks than we do. I was like, what the fuck? Am I really in a racist town? Like, what's going on? He was like, if you want to know, baby girl, you might as well know now. And I was just like, well, I wish they give me the opportunity to go home. They was giving girls 6-5 split, 6 months and 5 years probation. Coming in, overdose. Few of them done died in me. Some few of them done hung themselves. I was just like, what kind of shit is this? It was to a point where a girl was just like, yeah, this is jail, G-E-L. I said, bitch, you need a GED because it's going on here.
And then you coming from the city.
Right.
So it's like nobody from the city.
Nobody was from the city. I mean, there was one girl from the city. That's when I was like, this is jail, G-E-L. And I was like, bitch, you
bitch from the Bronx.
Yes, I was just like, I'm like, girl, because it was so, I go fun at nighttime, we had fun, like, we'll be on the gate singing, it's a game called In the Mix, like, if you sing a song by Usher, I gotta sing another song by him, I gotta pick up where you left off at and pick another song. I mean, it started to get fun because it was a lot of young girls in it, there was a lot of older women too that was down with the game, like, they ain't give a hell.
It was like a family type of...
Yeah, it was like, we was women and it was just like, I was the baby, like, I was the young one, I was pregnant, everybody just catered to me. I mean, not to say it's cool, but
so altogether, you did 17 months, or you did more time than that?
I did more time. I did 5 years in total.
You did 5 years?
I only did 17 months in county jail, and then I went up north. So county.
I didn't know you was going for that long.
County was horrible. County was something I would never. To the point where now I'm like, who want to go to Fillmore? Y'all going to Long Island? I ain't going back over there. I always said that I would never go back to Long Island. I might not never, because I feel like if anything happened, I'm already a criminal in a era, so it's just like, oh, you back again? Oh, the shooting happened? Yeah, it was you. They could just easily say whatever, because I already have a record saying that I was out there committing crime. But county jail was crazy. That it was like, I was feeding to go up north. Like, I was feeding to go to prison. I was like, what? We was locked down 22 hours. We were locked down for 22. We got 1 hour rec.
So you had your baby in county?
I had my baby in county. I was playing paddleboard in the yard. The officer was like, you gonna have that baby come on? I'm like, no, I'm like, they're like, hold on, stop, let the baby hit the ball. I was playing for a whole week. Excuse me, oh, my water broke. Playing around, they going crazy. Officer, the water broke. Open her fucking gate. We gonna break your ass. So it was just crazy. I'm like, no, my water, I was peeing for too long. Then when I was playing here, complaining in the court, I said, I'm in labor. They said, come on, we ain't got time for your shit today. I sat right on the steps. I said, either you call a bus or I give birth on these steps because I don't give a fuck. Go get some scissors, go get a scalpel, cut me open because I can't push. They was like, you for real? I said, oh, I'm sorry. They're like, we're going to call a bus. They called it and they locked down the jail. The jail was locked down for like 2 days. I go downstairs to the midwife. She said, when you make a fucking mom? I said, about 2 weeks ago, girl. She was like, why you gonna put that? I said, because I ain't got time. She was just like, she got to get rushed. She was contraction back to back. You have to get her. I said, what the fuck is a contraction? I never felt that. I knew it was a contraction. She was like, wait a bit. I said, I don't know. So I get to the hospital August 31st. I get to the hospital. I got there like 6 o'clock. They like, you scheduled. She's like, oh my gosh, wait, hold on, she's dilating. I said, baby, I don't go nowhere past Susan. You have to cut me open because I couldn't go push. I can't push, miss. you better go to South Nassau, get my medical records transferred, and they're gonna tell you I can't how the surgeon cut me. They cut me across and then up my uterus. My daughter was breech. So they was like, oh, so when they was trying to give me the push, I said, if I push and I die, we get a lawsuit, and I don't give a fuck. The doctor rushed in. He said, no, she cannot push. She has to get cut 8 o'clock. We signed her up for 8 o'clock. CO's going crazy. It was one CO. She don't have no kids. Older woman too. And she was like, well, Ma, I said, you go watch. I said, I ain't gonna push. You gonna watch me get cut. But she was like, you sure? I said, you go watch. So they didn't handcuff me or nothing. I'm staying here, getting the procedure done. I don't hear my son crying. They like, he having problem breathing. I said, problem breathing? I said, well, you want to be problem being dead because that baby started crying within a few seconds. I'm not playing. So the CO was just like, she was amazed and she was like, thank you for the experience that. She was like, well, calm down. I'm like, no, she's not talking about my son cry. I heard him cry. I started crying. I said, oh, man, what's going to happen with my son now?
Right.
So I was just like, damn, like, his father was incarcerated at the time too. So I gave birth. I was with my son for 4 days. For 4 days? 4 days. I used to wake up in the middle of the night in prison crying, bawling. Like, I was just like, yo, I can't do it. Like, I miss my baby. Like, I was being selfish. That's what I was doing. Cause when I caught my case, I wasn't thinking about my daughter at home and my son in my stomach. I was more going with my emotions. You know, you're pregnant, go through emotions, postpartum, whatever. You know, it was different. When I did that, I would cry. Then it was like, I had to write the captain to be like, look, I'm breastfeeding. Like, my breast was so heavy that I felt like I was sitting bricks on my chest. I get up short of something, but they had to open the gate at 4:30 in the morning for me to go and get in a hot shower so my milk would just come out. They wouldn't let me breastfeed at first. Superintendent wouldn't let me. I wrote the captain. I said, if I don't go breastfeed, I promise you something's gonna happen. Everybody here dies. I was making threats. I had them making bomb threats, calling the jail. They was like, you know what, you're doing a little too much. We'll take every feeding and go to the hospital. So I said, like around 11 o'clock. They were like, Cologne, medical. I go to medical. Let's move to the hospital. I go away to the hospital across the street. See myself about 2-3 hours. They let me feed him, change him, bathe him, and once he sleep, I go back to the jail. So it was like that for 15 days. My son was 15 days old when I sent him home. Social Security came and I said, my mother's coming to get him. First I thought it was like my mother. Fuck, I know she gonna have him. Ma, you had the what? When? August, and you now tell him, look, you gotta come get him. When? Tomorrow. All right, I'm coming. Ma, bring a car. She started. We got everything. Don't worry, we got everything. My mother got there. My son was so ugly when he came out. I said, hey, not my baby. I said, he was real dark. I said, who rolled the blunt with this one? I thought I was smoking weed with him. I said, oh, hell no. But I didn't see once I got to state prison with the Bedford.
Wait, but let me go back. So when you had to give him up, did they let you give him to your mother, or they did it when you wasn't there?
I wasn't there. I went to see him the same day my mother had to come get him.
And you knew that was going to be your last moment?
Yeah, I knew that was my last time with him. As I'm going out, my mother was on the elevator going up. I was ready going through the back of the hospital. So when I got to the job, I'm like, Mom, she said, where are you? I said, well, I just left. She said, I just got here. I said, well, while you coming up, I'm probably going down. Mama didn't see me yet since I've been incarcerated. It's been a whole year, Mama didn't see me. So I come home every day. My son father come home.
How did you feel having to leave him now?
Whoa. I felt less of a woman. That's how I felt. Less of a woman, less of a mother. I felt like I wasn't a nobody. I felt like I abandoned my kid. That's how I felt. I felt like the neglect, not my kid, neglected him. Like, I felt like I put him up for adoption. That's how I felt. Because my offer was still at 15 to life. So I didn't know what was going to happen. I'm like, I would never see my kids. It was like, I can't raise my kids to a jail, behind a wall, on a visit. That's not the way to go. So it was hard. I was just freedom to get to state prison. But it didn't happen that fast. My son father came home. My son was like probably 2-3 weeks old when his father came home. First thing he did was go see his son. I think so. His son came to see me. He made it every visit. He made every visit to see me.
Go off, Bobby. Go off.
He made sure he came to see me. I give it to that man. And you know, once he started working, the visits got shorter. He tried to bring my son to come see me, but when he got to the jail, they already had closed door for the visit. So you know how he is. He went crazy. Like, yo, what? My baby wanted to see our son yet. CEO was like, yo, you may fall out there acting crazy. Tell Bobby Boucher, calm down. We ain't got time for him. I was like, oh man. They're like, yeah, but like we try to let him, but you know the door's already closed. We couldn't. We work upstairs. We work the visit in full, but we work the visit in entrance. Like, don't worry. He tried to see me. He made it his best to come see me. After he started slowing down when he lost his ID and he started working. So I started feeling more of a nigga, you trying to play with me? Like, I felt like, damn, like, you go to jail, I was pregnant at home waiting for you, but in the midst of me waiting for you, I am catching the case. And then at you home, it's just like, we swap. And it was hard for him as well, too. He was so used to being on the other side of the fence. He was so used to getting visits, and he never went to visit nobody ever in his life. I was his first visit he ever did. So that showed me a lot. So I felt like when he was coming constantly, I'm like, maybe this collapsed. Maybe I got a real one on my side. And he always said, like, y'all, don't let my hand go. I'm never gonna let your hand go. And once the visit stopped, it was just like, damn, like, I didn't get to see my son before I went all the way up north. Like, I'm going to see my kid. I lost contact with my baby father. All types of shit was going through my head. Oh, he probably over there fucking with his baby mother, or da-da-da-da. And every time I call home, he was with his father. Bobby did his thing. I give it to him. Like, he might not be so perfect, but when it comes to his kids, I give it to him. As a father, I give it to him. I give it to him. He had his son every day. And you know, he's always telling me, like, my son is your shadow. He's my shadow. He's the reflection of you. Like, I don't got you on my side. I was used to having you every day. It's like, now I got my son every day. He's like, I don't want it to be like this. I always wanted to be in the same house as my wife and my kids. Like, I never had that. And I felt as a girlfriend, as a wife too. Like, you know, I failed as being there because I always told him.
So do you feel like your relationship with your son's father got stronger?
It did in the beginning, when I was first going through the process. But then once we lost communications, like, we started fading. It was like lack of communication. I would send him crazy letters, like, oh, I'm fucking bitches, leave me alone. Like, but it was to get a response. I was to get a response back from him.
You was hurting him?
Yeah, I was hurting. I was like, how we just stop communicating like that. My attention was, my mom was focused more on, like, if somebody else get his attention, like, what is it, who distracted him. And once we lost, as the years went by, I first saw my son in 2018. Since 2016, but I was 2018.
You didn't get to see him for 2 years?
For 2 years. He was 2 years old, white as hell, walking already. And I didn't even know, my mother didn't recognize me. I didn't recognize my mother. I was so big. Once I walked in the visiting room, I see two little kids playing. My daughter had her back turned. The little baby so white, so I'm like, that's not my son. My son came out dark. I'm like, my baby dark. And my mother started crying hysterically. She was just crying. I'm like, Ma, don't do this. Like, so what you mean? I was like, I ain't see you in forever. Like, I want to see you like that. She's like, girl, you got so big. I'm like, I know. And then my daughter called me Monday. My son called me Yaya. So it was just like, he was funny with me. Like, I don't go fault. I don't go my fault. I said, get the fuck out of here now. Like, it was more like, damn, you so went to your father. And it was hard watching them go from the visit. And then it was like, after a few more back, my mother had to take off work and she'll fly out there to Albion. Because I was working in Albion. So she'll fly to Buffalo and Rochester to bring my son, my kids to come see me once a month. I was content with that. Something, you know, she had a job too. It was like she had a job. She had 3 jobs. She had a job taking care of me, a job taking care of both of my children, and she had her real job, you know, to pay bills. She had a lot going on. So it was like, I give her credibility for that too as well. Like, I ain't gonna take that from her. Like, she made sure I didn't want for nothing in the job. Like, I never wanted for anything. And once I touched their ground, it became a playground for me. Well, so all the bitches, I was like, oh, fuck it. Like, it is what it is. Like,
so when you went up north, you were already incarcerated for almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then you did 3 years up north.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like on your ride to up north? Because now you leaving a place where you was comfortable,
Girl,
you know
the wheels
everybody.
on the bus.
Not the wheels on the bus.
The wheels on the bus. It was just, we was chained to another inmate. It was inmate and inmate. We was chained to each other, shackled.
And at this point, you kind of like used to like what's going on in your everyday life in jail.
Yeah, I already adjusted to it. Like it became normal to me. Like I've like, you know, motherfucker, this the rest of my life for the next 3 years. I gotta, you know, make it the best out of it.
I don't think I could ever do it.
You can't never say that because you gotta get there first order say you can't do it. Sometimes I was like that too. I can't do no fucking job. But I'm too bad. I like to go to the store, but I like to fuck nigga.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got there, it was like I'm really here. And it took me a minute to grasp it, but it was just like I can't keep beating myself up. Like my body's already confined. I can't let my mind be in prison too. So it was like I let my mind wander free, and I'm in jail. Okay, my body's incarcerated, but my mind is free. Like. And that's how I made it every day. So on the way to Albion, it was like 11 hours. Oh my God. Nobody wanted to shut up. Everybody was cutting ass with the officer. They pulled the bus over. They wanted to turn the lights off. We nodding off. It was a snow blizzard. Like once we left Bedford, and we got like going up, it just started snowing out of nowhere. I said, what the fuck we at? We in Canada? And everybody's like, it's cold, close the window. The ride was long. When we got there to the medical field, we had the biggest bus ride. It was like 30 women. That was the fully loaded bus, and it took us like, we didn't go lay down until like 12 o'clock.
Wow.
We went to the intake dorm, like reception. I'm like, bitch, I don't care what you, I want to go lay down. Where's my cube? Like, I want to know what time for this. We had a long bus ride, and then it was like, I kicked out of reception. It was this one ratchet ass officer, and I was ratchet too, so she was like, oh, we both can't be ratchet in here. We both can't be the loud ones. I'm the only loud one. I said, bitch, I'll beat you up. Nah, my mouth get crazy. And Albion became a playground. At movement every 30 minutes, 60 women to a dorm.
60 women?
60 women to a dorm.
So a dorm is like a big open space with beds? 60 women?
60 women.
On some oranges and a black shit.
60 women. It's like 6, 7 bathroom stalls. About 5 showers, 3 phones, a TV room. We got the rec area with the hot plates. Oh, that was an argument too. Like it was hard. Like I couldn't do it. Like I was like, I already live with 3 females in the house. I can't live with 60 bitches. I'm gonna lose my mind in here. But it wasn't on some. You see how people be like, oh, jail was like you get raped and nothing. Nothing like that. I mean, for the females. I don't know how this for the men, but for the females, nothing like that. It don't be like, oh, you little sweet thing. Everybody feel like that. Everybody come and do their time.
There wasn't no big birthdays? I've always been scared of big birthdays.
No, ain't no big birthdays. Ain't no big birthday, no big snuffleupagus. Ain't none of that. It's just everybody got their clicks. Like everybody click to each other. Like.
But it do be beef in there, right?
No. Them girls only get loud when the COs is there just so them break it up. See, I don't got time. Still like, look. I'm going to the bathroom. I'm not going to argue with friends. You can pull your pin. I'm going to lock. Just to argue, hell, I'm a BS. I'm going to lock. And I didn't have no fights. I didn't have not one fight my whole time there. Like, I didn't have. Like, I wouldn't argue either, bitch. Either we gonna fight or what? Because I ain't arguing with you. Arguing make me nervous. And when I get nervous, I black out. I don't think you want that. One time I went to the box and stuff, was like for the fusing program. It'd be, I'll be on. The snow come like to your chin. Oh, mess hole. Who working, bitch? I'm sure I ain't moving. Or you want to go to lock. Lock me then. I'm already in jail. Where I'm going? Where am I going to go? You can lock me up. I don't give a hell. And it's like, it was horrible. Oh my God. It was just like, the summertime, like, it won't stop snowing until like June over there. And Rochester, they don't stop snowing until like it's June. We get something for like 2 months. It's back to being cold. So I sit there, Albion.
How was like the, when you go on a visiting floor, was it full? Like how the men jails be?
That's one thing right there. Men get more support than women do. When I went to the visiting floor, it was very few women there with visits from a spouse. It was more like a family. But it wasn't like the thing where we'll hold a nigga down. Most women, thing where we don't like we will hold a nigga down. They wouldn't do it for us. And that's where I became observant. Like as I want to visit for my kids or my friends would come see me, I'm looking like, damn, like it ain't too many of us. Everybody got family days visit. But as far as like a loved one, like as far as like a nigga, a husband or whatever, we don't get that. Sometimes we don't get an answer from a nigga on the phone call. I've been met so many females in the jet that will cry every night because they're not picking up the phone. Like once the money run out, they ain't put no more money in the phone. And then it was like once we got to the tablets, we was the first ones to have the tablets out of all prisons, females, because there's only 3 female prisons in New York. We got them, and it was like okay, more convenient. We could text, like we send emails. It became cool, and I came to the Taconic. Taconic was the worst job I've been to. I feel like I went from the Hamptons to the eviction notice, like to a shelter. Cause I've been so big. I've been like a college campus. That's how big it is. It's 1,600 women in the compound. 1,600 women. And it's just so big. Like everything is so big. The package room is better. Everything was just whatever we couldn't have in Taconic or in Bedford, I don't give it to you. They ain't give a fuck. The white officers acting black. They was so cool. They was lean. They ain't give a fuck. They're like, look, listen, I don't care about y'all bitches. Get out my face. I come here to do my job. I what, 8 hours left? You know, like they was more lenient. When I came down to Taconic, which is pushing from Bedford, that's the minimum. That shit just like Bedford, a max. That shit was, and it's so small, it's like the size of this room. The jail was so small. The mess hall like a church. It was just like, it was different. Like,
and that's when you about to come home?
Mm-hmm. I had to go down there and do ASAP. ASAP, like a drug program. And you know, as a woman, I'm not gonna lie, I was very, how can I say, I was ignorant. That's what I was when it came to ASAP programs because I didn't have a drug addiction. So like people like they talk about how they overdose from heroin. I was like, why am I in here? I don't do drugs. You crackhead. Like I was just being immature. That's what I was being because I was like, oh, I got to get up early in the morning to sit here and do this. I'm not getting up. I ain't getting up. I ain't doing this. And it was like it was always a fussle with me. A fussle. I get up to go to the program. I'm like, I don't need this program. And then you know the counselor was like, what's wrong, Cologne? I'm like, I don't do drugs. I don't know what it's like to be house for heroin, coke, dope, dog food, what are you going to call that? I don't know how. Weed, alright, yeah. Liquor, yeah, but that's not a drug addiction because I'm not addicted to drugs. Like, I socially smoke and I socially drink. It's not like I gotta wake up with a blunt, wake up with a bottle. It's not what for me. So she had me doing like coordinators. Like I just make sure everybody get the program. I'm running around in the office all day. Like, I ain't got time for this shit. And when the younger crowd came in, I participated. Because it was like, I'm older than y'all. And it's just like, oh, that bitch is too young to be doing drugs. Like, what made you want to do drugs? And some people have stories that's like, far as me, like, it made them do drugs because they felt alone. Like, they didn't have nobody to run to. They didn't have a home. All they knew was a needle to their vein. So I felt their pain as far as being molested. But on the drug note, I couldn't feel it. But I had to give them guidance, like, this is not the end of the world. Like, what we go through in life, it makes us stronger. And sometimes it tends to knock us off the path and we fall in the same hole, but we keep falling in the same one and we never going to better ourselves. So it was this one young girl, she was in there, she's young. She had like 4 rape babies. And she was like, they held, I don't want to tell them, but they held her down, whatever. And I felt her pain. I was like, I cannot imagine what you went through. And then she was like, they had her in door cage. You know, it was terrifying. I was just like, yo, like, so, you know, she didn't have no family. So I told my mother to put packages in her name. I'm like, yo, I'll cook for her every day. She didn't know how to be a woman. Like, she didn't know how to clean herself. She always had an odor on her. I gave her, you know, hygiene products. Like, yo, how much want from commissary? Oh, okay, I put money in her books. And that's how she would eat. So it was like, when I was getting ready to come home, the jail was crying. They was like, it's going to be quiet. I was so loud. I didn't give a hell. Loud, running around. I had COs, sergeants, and they would come look for me just to make them laugh. They were like, yeah, come talk to me. I'm like, man, tell me one of your stories. I don't got no whole stories no more. My whole day's over. And they was just like, yo, like, you got a good, like, you know what made you come here? And I told them my story. It was like, wow. So when I opened up in groups to the females, when I graduated AFAT, they was like, we don't want you to go. So I'm like, I'm trying to extend my time. Like, I was more of a role model to them. Like, they was like, oh, you've been through so much and you hold your head up so high. Like, you laugh. How you laughing in a place like this? And I was telling them, like, sometimes we put ourselves in predicaments. Every lesson is a blessing. And if that's what you mean, I said, if we would never came to prison now, we would have waited till we got older, where our life is probably going good. It's like, what you mean? So I'm like, what I mean about this is that if we would never came to prison, we would still been doing the same thing we was doing. We would have kept getting away with it. So one day, all the charges going to pile up, we're going to have life. So they was like, oh, but you don't have kids. Like, I have 2 babies at home. I left my daughter when she was 14 months. I left my son when he was 15 days. And they was like, whoa, how could you do that? And I'm like, I got a good family support. That family support system was always there. Like, and Bobby played this part too with his son. But my family support was awesome. Like, it was just, I had a great stepfather. Like, my mother's boyfriend was just, I call him dad to this day. Like, when they broke up, I didn't know they broke up because he was still sending me packages and money. I didn't know what was going on until I came home. I'm like, what the fuck is this? My boyfriend, I don't want to know him. So it was just like, that's just been my stepfather ever since. And when it was just so hard breaking it down because I was like, damn, that's some young guy. They was like young, like 18, 19.
Did it make you feel good though about yourself that people, like looked up to you after all you've been through?
It made me feel good because it was just like, damn, maybe I do put a good image. I make females look strong because like we might smile every day all day, but behind our smiles are ugly. So I say never judge a book by cover till you read the book. We could look everything that's gold ain't glitter. See, I'm gold. I look glitter, but I ain't gold because behind I got a broken heart. I'm a scorned woman. So I tell the women all day, like, like you ain't gotta go out there and sell pussy. Get a job at McDonald's. That shit is whack. When you wait till you get AIDS, and it's one thing you can never get back. Your life is over. You might as well kill yourself. It's like, oh my God, you're so harsh. I said, look, listen, I'm giving you raw. I ain't gonna sugarcoat, baby, talk you or nothing. You wanna keep something and get dead? You wanna get killed? Either they're gonna kill you or they're gonna give you an age and you're gonna die regardless. So either way, you're gonna end up dead. They're like, for real? I say, yeah, I got friends. I was lying. I'm like, yeah, I got homegirls who died from that. They was just like,
I'm done.
for real, they was like, oh my God. I was like, yes, we wanna die. And then, a lot of them when they came home, they got in contact with me. They was like, oh, I'm home. I'm like, what you doing? I was like, oh, I'm in the shelter. I said, stay there. Get shit together. Stay there. Get a job. Go to the reentry program. Do the job search. Do the job fairs. Do what you gotta do. They're like, oh, we should link. We was friends in jail. We not friends in this real life. They was like, what you mean? I said, jail was not my real life. They're like, but it's not real life to me because that's not what I was born to do. Like, I was born to be a woman and put on an image for us. Like, you see, if Bruce comes to segregation once again, we going with the blacks. We ain't going with the white, no matter how Spanish we look. Like I said, we don't got blue hair, blonde eyes. I mean, blue eyes and blonde hair. We not gonna go with the white. They don't give a fuck about us. So I always told them, like, I can't. Like, I did what I did. I was jail. And when it comes to outside them gates, this is my life. I rebirth at because it's like I did the ugly part. Now I was like, all right, now I'm gonna be born. Now I know what to do and what not to do. And if I ever thought of doing something, I would do it the right way instead of going. So, anger management helped me a lot. Sometimes they piss me off, so I could ask the same questions every day, but it helped me grow. And prison showed me growth as well too. Like, now I don't snap people arguing. I ain't snapping. Bitch, look, listen, my dog never bark. A dog that bark don't bite. But growing up, it was like, who's screaming that? Like, it was ghetto timing, but as I went to prison, I'm just like, baby, look, listen.
You feel like prison humbled you?
It helped me a lot. I learned from prison, and I don't regret going to prison. I mean, I regret leaving my kids. I don't regret learning what I learned from there because it's like.
You feel like it humbled you in like a lot of ways, like.
That's what it made me do a 360. I didn't come home the same person. Partying wasn't it for me. Drinking, I didn't really care for it. Smoking, I definitely couldn't do it. I was on parole, so I hate the smell of weed. It was more of a like. I don't know. Like I learned a lot. I'm like the old heads like on my way out the gate. Don't look back. If you look back, you keep coming back. And I ain't look back. And then I said, wait, fuck it. It's mind over matter. And I looked back and I was like, I'm gonna look out for y'all. Once I came home, I set up my JPEG, sent everybody packages. I sent everybody money. And they were just like, oh my God, you look back, remember us. I'm like, I would never, give me time to get myself together. And I'm going to set y'all out. And that's what it was. And a lot of them came home. I'll be in contact with Freedom on Facebook. And they still say, like, yo, we had our fun times in jail. It was true. Like, you always made us, like, everybody loved the way I cook. Oh, can you make me a cheesecake? Girl, you better go to Junior's. We is not in jail to make no damn cheesecake from scratch. She's like, oh, but I mean, it was fun. And it did humble me because it showed me, like, it would show me how to feel. It would show me how it felt to leave my kids behind. And that feeling, I would never want to feel it again. Because, like I said, I was not looking at yourself. I wasn't thinking of them. I wasn't thinking for them. I was thinking for myself. And leaving my kids is a thing I would never want to do. I don't want my kids to feel like, damn, I'm going to keep going to jail. Like, it would hurt me the most. Like, my mom would say, Mom, you going to jail? And I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, what you know about jail? her father's side of the family will probably tell her what it is. And I still didn't break it down to her because it's like, she's still young. My mommy not going to jail. Mommy, I'm going to sleep before I go to bed. You're going to sleep before you go to bed. Mommy, you're going to sleep with me tonight. I'm going to sleep with you tonight. And it's just like, when I came home, it was a process to get my son to call me mama. Yaya, everything. Yaya, bro, Yaya. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, and I couldn't blame him because he didn't know me. All he knew was his father and my mother. And I'm like, time to go to work. And I got put in the double shift. I came home November. By January, my son was calling me mommy. 30 days, less than 30 days, my son was calling me mom. He was like, Mom, you're so pretty. I'm like, you're so handsome. You know, I look like you, rap like you look like me. You know, it was amazing. Like, getting to wake up.
How does it feel being home and being a mom?
It feels good. It feels like I never went to prison. I feel like when I came home, I adapted real quick. Like, I knew what to do already. I wish I was going to do when I was in jail. If I go home, I'm going to do what I'm doing, and I did it how I'm supposed to do it. And it was just like I said, waking up for my kids, going to sleep to them is a great feeling. It's something I cried for years. To finally get to have that, I felt like, yeah, I made it. Like, I'm strong. Like, I didn't let it break me. You know, some people go to jail, come home and go right back because all they know. I didn't know jail, and I don't want to be. I didn't want to make it. I didn't want to feel like that's all I knew. So when I came home, my kids was what it was. They kept me going. So when my mother would say, "Mommy, you going to jail?" Now she stopped. She don't say that. Mommy, you going with Kim House? You going with Felicia and them? You going? I'm like, damn, you so fucking nosy. So you going to the back, right? You going to the back park? I'm like, I ain't going to the Diaries game. What you about the Diaries game? So, you know, like, she knows, like, she's more with, like I said, kids nowadays more advantage. I did. So it was just like, it's an amazing feeling. Like, I'm proud to be home. I've been home for a year now. No parole violation. I'm did everything I had to do. I'm just accomplishing everything that I was supposed to do before I even went to prison. So it's like now it's like,
now you starting your life.
Mm-hmm.
This is where it starts.
Now it's like, as I'm learning, as my kids learning me, I'm learning them. So like, I'm still in school. All right, my daughter don't like this, my son hate that, and it's like, you know, like mommy said, mommy called by her name, she mad. You know what I'm saying? But it's amazing. It's a great feeling.
What's the hardest part about being home?
The hardest part about being home is starting all over. More like, see, when I was in prison, I would talk to the women. So when I came home, I'm not the same hood niggas I saw every day. Shit changed. The hardest part was, my biggest fear was getting killed in these streets because of the life I was living. But when I came home, my biggest fear was going back to prison. So what was hard for me was like staying out these streets. You know, being gang affiliated. Was I gonna get tied up in an indictment again? Well, I was gonna do anything that would make me go back to prison. But instead, I chose a different route. Like, I did full-time mommy and part-time gangbanging, but my gangbanging was limited. I was like, we go, you know, little meetings, little parties, little birthdays, that's it. As far as getting the gang fit, picking up a gun, I ain't touched a gun since I've been home yet. I ain't touched a gun, I don't think about it. Now, my kid's life in danger, and it go different, you know. But I ain't thinking about that no time soon. And it's just like, you know, prison right now is kind of crazy. All the beef that's going on. So it's just like, I keep myself going. Like, I don't sit on the block no more.
Do you keep a set schedule so you can stay out of trouble?
No. I just get up and go with the flow. Because I know I'm not going back to jail. That shit ain't for me. My PO texts me like, oh, I'm about to let you off early. Well, please do, so I can take trips. And she's like, oh, I thought you said, please do so you can start slapping bitches. I said, no, I'm going to go take trips. I don't care. I don't got time for that. I feel like females that invest their time in fighting is broke. Mm-hmm. You got too much time on your hands to be on social media every day. There's no way you should wake up 6 o'clock in the morning and you popping shit. For what? Like, it makes it like life is bigger than what social media think it is. Some people get clout over social media. Some people just think they are known and be heard from social media. They say the dumbest thing, but some people who's dumb enough to like it will comment. So just like, I don't base my life on social media. I feel like I done did it already.
Do you think you healed from your past traumas?
No, but yes. As far as like, it was hard for me to talk about it. But the more I got, like when I was in prison talking to the females about it, the more we got to share stories, I started to feel more comfortable telling my story. So as far as like being on that end, I was healed, but as far as like I said to my mother apology, I'm still torn from that. And it's like I didn't forgive myself, but then it's like, you know, I say you can't forgive if you don't forgive yourself. But what am I forgiving myself for if I didn't ask for it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was brought to me. I didn't look for it. It found me. So it was just like,
I think forgiveness is good for you, so you can let go. Like, you know, you resent your mom behind that, but you're holding on to the anger. If you let the anger go, the healing can start. Like, forgiveness is for you, it's not for them.
Right, I understand, but it's just like, I don't want to forgive nobody. I'm not God. God forgives, I don't. And I don't want to be sound ignorant, but I feel like that's not my job. I feel like if I show you, like I said, we got a good friendship, and I show you nothing but loyalty, you just like, why should I forgive you? I didn't do nothing wrong for you to turn your back on me or backstab me. You did it because you wanted to do it because you were trifling. So it's like, I don't gotta forgive you. I'm just not gonna deal with you. I ain't gonna beef about it because like, man, bitches come and go. You know what I'm saying? Like, friends is friends. Sometimes you don't have friends. My friends is foe. So it's like, if you did that to me, I know where you stand at. I know how you move. I know how to move with you. So I don't gotta forgive. I don't gotta bother and be like, well, let's sit down and have a talk and solve differences. No, you did what you did. You knew you was wrong, trying to be wrong, strong. Or bitch, I'm done with you. Now you like, oh, look, I apologize. Cool, I'm with it. But also me coming to you like being the bigger, better woman. I tried that so many times, it ain't never worked. So it was like, now I just fall back from certain situations. Like, man, you negative. I don't want that. Anything negative,
I see the growth in you from the girl that I used to know, though. I see the hardness also, but I'm not the guy. Like, you really like matured. Your mental, like sitting here conversing with you right now, it's just like you never know what somebody went through or what they go through, and it's just like I have like a new level of respect for you.
It's like, I appreciate that. Thank you. And it's just like sometimes we go through just as much men do, but
if not more.
Men don't know how to hold it down like how we do. We stronger than men. Like, you see a nigga cheat on 10,000 times and we can hold it down. But the minute we cheat on one time, they act like they mother died. So it's just like, that right there shows me like, we strong. And some females make us look bad. I'm not even gonna lie. Some females make us look bad by showing weakness. And I always thought I would never show weakness to a man because I showed weakness when I was getting molested. I mean, you know, I was young. I didn't understand what was going on. It was going on for 7 years of my life. I showed weakness, so now it's like I got this my guard up. Like, man, I say, you love me, I heard you. Bro,
but you gotta allow yourself.
No, I do allow myself, but it's like I don't go all the way through because I feel like one fuck up. Well, I feel like this. Once you make a mistake the first time, I accept that. But once you keep making it, it's a decision. It's no longer a mistake. If you keep doing it once, twice, I'm gonna like my mother said, man, put it on you one time, you allow it, you're gonna keep doing it. That's not a mistake, it's just a choice, it's a decision you wanted to make. So now I know now I'm gonna pull myself because I know you're gonna hit me one time and I'm gonna say I'm gonna kill you, I'm going back to jail, you know, so I just, let me fall back. So I don't surround myself in predicaments where I know I gotta go back. I know, like, all right, I'll premeditate. I'm saying I'm gonna plot. Yeah, I'm gonna kill him. Jail, first thing I say, jail. I ain't going back to jail not for no nigga. I already went to jail for the first nigga. I'm not going back. And the first person I went to jail for wasn't even a relationship. It was more hate. Like, we had beef. Like, he was a villain in the street. Like, when he told on me, I lost all respect. And people that entertained him, I lost respect for them too. I condoning the rap. What happened to the street code? What's going on? And then,
but not only condoning the rap, you condoning a man who took a child away from their mom, you know, and a girl at that.
So,
Who is Yaya today?
Yaya today is no longer Yaya. Yaya today is no longer
Yaya.
Yaya.
No, fling it, girl. Who's Yaya? Yes.
I'm Yaritza. Yaya was the girl who ran the streets and was rough and living the hard life. Yaritza today is a woman. I'm in growth, and I'm still in the process of growing still. And I just live my life every day.
If you could tell anything to someone in jail that's watching right now, what would you say to them? Another woman that's young, that's probably starting her bed right now. She got time to go. What advice would you give her?
The advice I would give you is, it's going to be hard, but in the end it gets better. And you're not there for the rest of your life. You're going to come home. You're going to see the sun there. Like, your body might be incarcerated, but your mind is free. Just pray and walk with God. Walk with him ahead of you, walk behind you, will lead you the right way. Minor setback for a major come.
That's right. What would you say to somebody that's about to come home, that's looking forward to coming home?
Don't fall back into the streets. These streets was like a drug. You're gonna relapse. You're gonna relapse, and don't even fall for it. Because I guarantee you, when you come home, the same people left behind gonna be doing the same shit you left them doing. So I don't think you want to surround yourself right now. Come home, walk with your head on strong, and do what you gotta do. What you're supposed to do. Do what you know. If you know better, you'll do better.
So pretty. We at Princess Diaries, we just want to wrap this up. I want to thank Yaritza for coming and sharing her story. It was so amazing. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
I paint this picture from a dark place. Touching all base, 18 next to Canada. Think I saw Drake. Nah, but I saw he was in the big box. He told me keep my shoes tied. Don't ever leave a bruised pod. COs hold they news high. Favorites of their own kind. Prison in their own mind. We living through it due to time. Niggas snitching, dropping dimes. Never was a friend of mine. Working out my figure fine, but I just wanna hug my mom. Tell my shorty she the one.